The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network.
Super Media Bros.
What a contrast of two events to talk about, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was, you did not explain to me the mini movies and that I've missed two of them.
We both technically missed two of them because we covered two of the pay-per-views that they were about, so...
That's what I'm saying, you didn't tell me about these.
It's okay. It was one of those things I tried to forget about.
No, don't ever do that shit again.
Welcome to the Super Media Bros podcast, where two best friends give comedically informative takes on movies, music, pro wrestling, and more. I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
It's episode 285. This was initially going to be just a WCW Beach Blast 1993 review, but then we forgot that Blood and Guts happened on AEW this week, so guess what? Bonus. So rather than going right into the event that was WCW Beach Blast 1993, we're going to kick this off with AEW Blood and Guts, which was a very short card on paper, but very long in practice.
Yeah, out of the gate. So that Jack Perry theme song.
Oh, Beethoven's Fifth?
Yeah, great song, amazing. Whenever the intro started, I was like, okay.
You thought it was going to lead into something else?
Yeah, I thought it was going to have a transition into something. And I have read a lot of people's, opinions, and I wouldn't say reviews because it's basically just tweets and comments on YouTube, but their takes on it, and they do have good points of like, yeah, but that's the point. It's so underwhelming. It's everything against what you want and all that stuff. And I totally understand, but it's also just, I don't know, because he comes out looking like a young Chris Jericho, but in current Chris Jericho attire, and they can do more with it later, but the problem is because I don't expect them to know right out of the gate what they want, especially given that it's a public domain song. I don't blame TK for doing that shit, but to me it's just kind of like, okay, even if you do change it though, I know myself and other fans are always going to remember, yeah, but remember that fucking L. Yeah,
first impressions are a thing. That should be like considered. They could have souped it up a little bit how they did with Flight of the Valkyrie for Brian.
Yeah, I would have loved that. Yeah,
give it some drums, give it some attitude, legit. But the story with Jack Perry is that, for me, this is what cracks me up. He shits on this championship, the FTW championship. He shits on it after losing 2 world championship opportunities. Wrestles and defeats Hook, gives Hook his first loss in the company, takes the FTW title. Okay, are you going to defend this thing? Are you going to hold it hostage and just be like, fuck you, I own this belt now? Like, what do you do with this?
I don't know. I didn't even think that far ahead.
And that's kind of where I'm like, all right, you done worked yourself into a shoot, brother. You got to do something with this kid now. It doesn't feel like he's over as a heel at all with anybody. Well, nobody's buying it. I don't buy it, honestly.
Well, and also with the song, I mean, again, I understand it's supposed to be underwhelming. I get it, but also there was a lot of confusion. You could tell that the crowd was like, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not even trying to be a dick, but did you hear some slight chuckles? Okay, you did.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like you could see it too. It felt dead, and I saw people's confusion in the crowd. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because that video package they put before it, where he's burying himself in the sand.
I dig it.
No, that was great. That's why I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it felt so underwhelming comparatively to that. You were like, okay, the leather, the burial. Fuck yeah, let's see where this goes. Dun, 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 dun. Like, oh my fucking God, are you shitting me right now?
Well, no, at that point I thought, okay, they're going to do something, And then he comes out with the jacket, which, by the way, I've gotten Instagram ads for that same jacket.
Sweet.
And yeah, like, it's a pretty cool jacket. I do like that. And he's in tip-top shape, you know, he looks great, very lean, you know. I will say this, really good match, probably Hook's best match yet.
Sure.
And at the very end, when Jack Perry goes to pin him, and he has a shit-eating grin, perfect.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing that I had a problem with was, you're so monotone and wooden. Do something. And he did. Now, I would say that even though the Anna Jay line was kind of a throwaway line in his first initial heel promo, I would have her start coming with you. Because every fucking wrestling fan ever is like, oh, you have a hot chick with you? Well, fuck you.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Use her, man.
We're moving on to the Adam Cole and MJF versus Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara match for the finals of the Blind Eliminator Tag Tournament. This is what I have to say. The match isn't the story. It's not at all. This tournament's not even the fucking story. The double clothesline is the fucking most over move right now, and it is the most basic ass move. I was explaining to somebody on Twitter the fact that we are all wanting a double clothesline this badly should tell you exactly how over MJF and Adam Cole are, to the point that their shirt is the highest selling shirt company-wide right now. This is the most organic babyface reaction from the crowd to these guys that you could possibly hope for. They need to strike while this iron is hot. They need to keep this going.
Yeah.
I think it is a fucking terrible booking decision if you nix this in the next week, which they tease in the ass end of this match with Cole holding the championship belt before handing it to Max. If you're going to go that route, Adam Cole's the heel. If you go that route, give Max that babyface push that he should actually have been having like this entire time. This is proving points that I have been making over the last fucking 8 months on this show. MJF could be the most over babyface because he is actually likable when you give him the material to work with. He's very good at expressions. He's good at comedy. The guy is mega talented and can pull it off. Have it be where it's like, okay, MJF is a sympathetic babyface because he finally let his guard down and trusted somebody and got fucked.
Not only that, but if you make MJF the heel, which is almost what it looks like, only because they kind of play into his ego.
It's what you expect.
Well, that too, but with the tease, it did play into his ego. But at the same time, it's like, okay, but if you have MJF turn on Adam Cole, then it makes Adam Cole look like the biggest fucking dumbass.
And that's the point. If he went that way, he'd still be over his face. But I don't feel like they should do it at all. I feel like they need to put the belts on them.
Oh, well, yeah, I agree.
As much as I love FTR, I really feel like they need to put the championships on these two. If they're going to keep this going, they should do that. I feel like they really should do it.
100% agree. Also, to your point of just how over MJF is as a babyface, are we going to talk about how loud of a fucking pop he got just for a dive? Like, this is the first time since how fucking long that somebody popped for that shit?
Not just that. The most simple moves are getting these pops. When he body slammed Big Bill.
With
fucker
99,000 people in this Silverdome.
Oh, you mean 120,000 people in the Saskatoon Silverdome?
That shit was great.
I love how much he Hogan and Andre'd that shit up.
Dude, it was wonderful.
Yeah, the whole thing where he was selling his bag and then he fucking body slams him so hard that he was like, oh, and fucking he flops too. Like, Jesus, dude. Did you notice the fucking Cody Rhodes march that he did towards old boy on the outside of the ring after he dove?
Yes.
He fucking like.
Did you notice the Triple H spot into a Ric Flair bump?
Yes. Beautiful. The whole fucking thing was beautiful. If nobody is aware of what we're talking about, there was a point where Triple H jumped off the second rope, gets nailed with a boot to the face, and he fucking is stunned just standing there for the longest time. And Sean is like leaned on the ropes, like trying to fan him off, and he's just like, whoa, whoa, like, you know how somebody's gonna fall. You pretend like you can reach out and catch him, but you're actually a little too far, so you're just kind of motioning with him. He just fucking falls after like 20 minutes.
It's the funniest shit.
Go YouTube it if you feel so inclined, but that's kind of the reference they did here, and then also the Ric Flair flop. Good shit. Point being, also Garcia and Guevara pass up Jericho as he's been kind of teasing joining up with Don Callis, which we'll get to in the next match.
I don't know how I feel about that because on one hand, okay, I don't like that Jericho has been injected into every single storyline. At the same point, BCC looks like it's dwindling towards the end of this show. So, okay. So then you put in Jericho to... Unless BCC is dead and then this is something completely different. I really don't know. But I'm not crazy about the concept, even though Don Callis is doing tremendous work as a heel, but I definitely want Daniel Garcia to get away from this. Even though I love the little, like, the dance thing. That's cool. That's funny. But I just see so much more with him.
I think we'll see what happens because getting into the blood and guts match proper, it's the Blackpool Combat Club along with Takeshita and Pac going against the Golden Elite, which is the Bucks, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. Now, I think by the end of this thing, the Blackpool Combat Club, they may be turning babyface again organically, just because, like, how much more heel do you make them? Like, when you put them against the top dudes, and then after the match goes off the air, they shake hands and get on the microphone and basically are just like, Blackpool Combat Club tells the Elite, like, we fucking respect you for not being a bunch of pussies, basically. The match itself, though, dude, this was probably the most well-paced car crash match I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I'll say this. First of all, it felt like everybody involved said, yeah, we understand the whole, like, move banning thing. Tell you what, Tony, can you print that out on a piece of paper for me? Thank you. Hey, do you have a highlighter? And then they just highlighted everything that they wanted to do, which was the whole sheet of paper.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain, like, not long after that got announced. This is literally, like, Eric Bischoff gets on Twitter, and he's like, welcome to the PG era of Dynamite. And it's like, literally, Tony Khan is like, this is not changing the in-ring product or what you're seeing presented on TV. This is literally to put in place for our medical staff and for our coaches to understand, this is what's happening in this match. So there's, like, it's open communication. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. And by putting it in writing that it's, quote, banned, that forces communication. It forces you to be like, these are spots I want to do in this match. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of just going out there and pulling an audible, like, Mick Foley jumping off the top of the goddamn cell.
Right.
Okay.
It's not banned, it's regulated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the spots in this match, because it would be impossible to just sit here and go step for step for 51 minutes and 15 seconds for this fucking match.
Well, especially because the camera producers kept fucking up.
Yeah, but that's something that's been a fucking issue. I'm sorry. That's one of my only gripes about AEW is that their production team is not always on fucking point.
Yeah, it's like for every tremendous shot, you're going to get 2 or 3 that it's like, well, at least I saw some of it.
Yeah. So some of the major spots in this was the bed of nails.
Loved it.
I did too, but I don't think Kenny loved it when that motherfucker rebounded out of the corner and scraped his ass on the way down. That wasn't planned.
Yeah, there was even a fucking elbow.
But there was even a rope. You saw Moxley fucking with it too. There was a piece of rope that he was trying to, like, cinch around the turnbuckle so it wouldn't do that. And dude, he bumped into it so fucking hard though, because, like, Moxley hit him with a missile drop kick. And that's not a move you can exactly fake. Like, you're not kicking the shit out of somebody. You're just shoving them really hard.
Yeah.
And Kenny, Kenny takes those wild fucking flatbacks vertically, not even horizontally, just vertically into shit. And to pounce that motherfucker out. I thought the raining thumbtacks from the top was fucking brilliant. I didn't even see that coming.
No, not at all. That was cool. Like, okay, this is going to sound so weird, but hear me out. The bed of nails were more of screwdrivers whenever you look at the actual up-close pictures. So they were more rounded. That shit's still gonna fuck you up, though.
Yeah, Kenny had holes in his back, too, from taking the body slam. Because it was like Moxley looking, he was like, oh, you ain't bleeding yet? Hang on. Fucking body slams his ass on that bitch. Right on that motherfucker. And you're just like, insane. God damn.
But given, like, okay, we had the nail bed thing. We had the raining thumbtacks, like, broken glass. They had all kinds of shit. And I'm watching it and I'm like, it's so weird. It's almost like they're playing it as safe as they can possibly play this. And so in the process, they are being more creative.
There was a former WWE producer who just recently started working with the company. That might have a lot to do with it. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the show has started to feel a little more episodic than it has been.
Yes.
So that's a thing. The match producing has been a little better thought out.
Yeah, like the picture-in-picture feels more like, okay, if you do have to go take a piss or something, it's fine. You're not missing anything too crazy.
Right. The funniest part about this whole match is that Kota Ibushi physically shows up for the first time during his entrance, who happens to be the very last entrant for the Golden Elite. The Golden Elite at this point in the match are getting their asses handed to them. They're getting their shit kicked in real hard. Fucking Kota Ibushi is coming to, not literally like this, because I know some prick face out there on TikTok is going to be like, you didn't fucking do that. I know he didn't do that, you dumb shit. This is called a comedy bit. Kota Ibushi comes out, taking his sweet fucking time, dancing like Bully Maguire to the fucking ring, soaking in the crowd response. And it's like, fuck yeah, but dude, your guys are getting their shit kicked in. Like, don't you think you'd be like kind of urgently running out there to save them? Because let's be honest, when he gets in the ring, he fucking stiffs Moxley pretty fucking good.
Dude, he fucking decked him. As far as the whole, like, entrance, hey, bruh, Jeff Hardy did the same thing.
It's so great.
Love it. But Ibushi looked great. You could tell that there were some moments where he was nervous, it seemed. I don't know if it's the style of match that he's just not accustomed to, or if there was a language barrier and he was afraid to work with it, or maybe it's just, hey, I've been gone for a long time.
That, because it's his first match and I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a language barrier. Kenny speaks fluent Japanese, dude. Unlike some fucking samurai cops in the fucking industry.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, does Ibushi speak fluent English?
It doesn't matter at that point. He speaks enough English.
Okay.
But the finish to this match is pretty confusing, which I'll get to in a second. I'm gonna point some
crazy about it.
Yeah. So no. I liked it. This goes back to the production issues.
Yeah. I think that's what my problem is.
I don't know if I've actually talked about this finish with you yet. What do you think happened?
Honestly, I was so, like, trying to watch everybody leaving the cage that I missed it.
Right. Okay. So Pac gets pissed off and leaves.
Yeah.
Takeshita gets pulled out by Callis. Now I'm going to point at a few full circle moments here.
Okay.
Years ago, during the first Hangman and Kenny Omega tag team match, Jon Moxley left Pac's ass in the fucking ring during that match.
Okay. That's right. Wheeler was getting fucking folded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pac was like, fuck this, I'm out.
And then Mox was handcuffed.
Yep, to the post.
Yeah.
The Bucks had Yuta kind of just scorpion with a chain around his neck. This is why I'm asking you, how did the match end?
The actual ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I know it was Wheeler.
Uh-huh. See,
Did
that's
he get
what
knocked out?
See, that's what everybody thinks. Moxley surrendered the match to save him.
Okay, see.
That went completely unnoticed.
Yeah. Which, really good character development. I enjoy that. Okay.
And exactly, because the entire time, Moxley has kind of given Yuta shit. Not out loud, but you can tell. Because the tag team of that entire group is Castagnoli and Yuta.
Right.
Moxley just kind of treats him like, you know, their dog, basically. This does show like Mox like, okay, no. Because Moxley got choked out the same fucking way by Hangman, and he had to tap. So he knows what it's like being there. So he saved his ass. Okay, so that's good character development. His face kind of after the fact where he was just sitting there like, they fucking got us. He just had that resolve on his face like, they were better than us tonight, bar none. There was a Reddit user that posted, the name is not even clipped here, so I can't give credit. But basically, it was saying that, so in the end, this story is that despite how much conflict the Elite have had over the years, that when the time came, they were the ultimate cohesive unit, and the Combat Club, despite how much crowing they were doing about being professionals and loving each other, they had to rely on outside help that coincidentally had grudges against the Elite and bailed because they didn't have as much skin in the game as Moxley and them did. So Moxley, who tries to portray himself as this merciless, violent motherfucker, had to surrender to save his protege in a practically perfect mirror of himself submitting to Hangman at Revolution.
I really like that.
And you remember what Kenny Omega said last week? Love will win. Moxley chose his fucking protege over winning this match.
I like that.
Yeah.
Too bad the production team fucked it up.
Exactly. That's the whole fucking thing that I was trying to get to. They ran a little bit over. They missed that ending. We missed basically the Elite on microphone with the Combat Club shaking their hands and the Combat Club saying, we respect you and all this other shit, to end this part on kind of a funny moment outside of where the fuck does all this shit go from here? Because we really don't know until the next few weeks play out, because All In and All Out are right around the corner. I want to point out how fucking ironic and trolling Tony Khan is. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I think this man knows what he's doing. And this goes back to the Nick Gage, Chris Jericho pizza cutter spot when the Domino's ad was playing during the picture-in-picture. Do you know what the sponsor was for this segment on AEW? Because you know how like they have sponsors for different segments. It's not just the whole show. Guess who the sponsor was for the actual Blood and Guts match segment? Fucking American Red Cross, dude. I know, dude. I was dying. Yeah, I was fucking dying because I'm just sitting there like, and when I saw it, I was like, man, don't we donate blood to these motherfuckers? You know what I mean? Like, that was just the ultimate irony to me.
No. I've been telling my friends this whole time, we need to quit making fun of that boy. I'm pretty sure he's on the spectrum. You know, and everybody's like, you think, oh. And then it went from a wholesome like, hey, lay off Tony Khan, to, dude, that segment was botched. He's probably like sitting on his chair in the back, like fucking L from Death Note, going back and forth in the chair going, oh, no. Like twiddling his own fingertips and shit. Didn't go the way that I wanted. No. And now I'm seeing shit like this. I'm like, whoa, wait. We might be onto something and you just are really good at memeing, or we just misread you.
It's just the coke. It's just the cocaine, dude. Coke-on. That's what they fucking call it. We're gonna call it some coke-on here.
And I love the guy, but goddamn, dude.
Right. I just love the look on his face whenever he does get a microphone. He's just like, there's no shade. It's me.
Bro. And when he comes out with the fucking hats.
Dude. I love Tony Khan so fucking much.
He's like a little golden retriever.
He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
He's just a little guy.
Like, I understand the last episode on Collision where he wore the cowboy hat. That was a thing. You know,
that was Stampede.
Yeah, like I get that. I'll excuse you there, even though you looked goofy. The pilgrim hat is what kills me, though.
Fuck yeah,
that's the one I'm like, nah, dude, I cannot let this slide. You look so...
You look so stupid right now, dude. What the fuck? Ah, god damn it. AEW Blood and Guts on Dynamite. What a fucking event, though. I'm so glad that they have kind of given it its own identity outside of the war, because this is the War Games format, basically.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about WCW Beach Blast from 1993. You're listening to the Super Media Bros podcast on the OddPods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Shannon.
I'm Jamie.
We're Married with Television, marriedwithtv.com. We are a couple of Hollywood normies on the outskirts of the film and TV industry, and we talk about our favorite TV shows, music, and movies, and sometimes they talk back to us.
Sometimes I do.
Our podcast is Married with Television, one word, on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
Possibly Amazon soon. And we are a proud member of the OddPods Media Network.
Married with TV!
MarriedWithTV.com.
All right, everybody, let's jump into our 30-year Time Machine series and take a trip back to Biloxi, Mississippi during July of 1993 for WCW Beach Blast. A day at the beach, a night for revenge. The main event of this evening is Big Van Vader and Sid Vicious versus Sting and Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Now, the undercard was not too bad.
No.
But, like, oh my God, like, I feel like much of this got overshadowed by the mini movie that we'll get to lead into the main event. First of all, 8,600 people in this motherfucker. It looked like a giant gymnasium with a fucking industrial style roof.
The seating was off-putting.
It looks like you ever been to a local rodeo?
Yes.
That's what it looked like.
It really did.
Like, it looks like bleacher seats. It doesn't even look like fucking seats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't, but it felt like it.
Visually, I was like, yeah, this came out like 93. Okay.
Yeah, and it's almost like they left the house lights on over the actual production lighting.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because the whole time I was thinking, it looks so off.
And it really was, because this predates Bash at the Beach, actually. Like, they only had 2 Beach Blasts, and it was this one in 1992's.
Yeah, because funny story for the listeners, whenever you told me, oh, hey, feel free to watch it tonight on your own since, we couldn't get together. And I was like, all right, cool. I go to Peacock and I try looking for it. And I was so close to texting you, dog, I don't know how to tell you this, but there is no Bash at the Beach 1993.
And that cracked me up because I was like, yeah, I know.
And I was just like, Richie, what the fuck are we watching?
Beach Blast.
I don't know why, because I scrolled up in my text messages and I was like, son of a bitch, you did say Beach Bash or
Blast. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the fuck this thing was.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I guess just in my brain, I was like, no, I know what he means. Like, I didn't even actually read it. I just saw the words.
Yeah, not a lot of people ever catch that either. It's crazy. So the event opens with Paul Orndorff defending the WCW television title against Ron Simmons in a match that went 11 minutes and 15 seconds, which was ruined by their stupid over-the-top rope disqualification rule.
Makes no sense because...
It's selective. Have you noticed that? It's very selective whenever they apply it.
Well, not even just that, but just I feel like there was some cheating fuckery going on throughout the whole match.
Yeah. Do you also remember the no moves off the top rope rule?
Mm-hmm.
See, that went bye-bye quietly, and they kept the over the top rope rule, and it's so dumb. You have to throw somebody over the top rope. If you hit somebody and they stumble and they fall, you got to throw them.
But then I don't know, whatever. Ron Simmons is a national treasure. I'm not gonna badmouth the dude.
Yeah,
I did like the brawl afterwards, though.
Sure, and that's the story here. But goddamn, the match itself got fucking ruined for me with that shit, with the disqualification thing.
Yeah.
And Paul Orndorff picks up the win via disqualification after being thrown over it. But
whatever.
Yeah. Too Cold Scorpio and Mark Bagwell, before he was Buff Bagwell, coming out in fucking LSU colors in Biloxi, Mississippi, to take on Shanghai Pierce and Tex Slazenger. And good story about these motherfuckers. These are the Godwins.
Yeah.
For those of you out there that don't know, that's Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight. One is in a mask and one is not. The one that is not in the mask is Dennis Knight, and the one under the mask is Henry Godwin. And it's just like, fuck, dude. Like, who knew? You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, come on now. And this was kind of a run-of-the-mill tag match as well.
Yeah.
It was like 12 minutes and 48 seconds. Good spots. I mean, Bagwell's green as fuck right here, but I mean, he's got Scorpio in there with him.
Yeah, it was a totally serviceable match, you know? I mean, it's one of those things that you kind of gloss over, not because it's bad, but just because it's like, no, this is just, it just exists.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, you could tell that it's supposed to be the second match on a card.
It's weird to put the piss break match at the second part of the event, but I mean, here we are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's like two piss break matches. Too Cold Scorpio and Buff, I'm going to call him Buff because he's the stuff, win this match. And we move on to Lord Steven Regal versus Eric Watts. God damn, I love William Regal so much, man.
Sure.
Like, I feel like he's one of the most respected but underrated, overlooked people in the industry as far as like fans would be concerned. You know, like your casual watchers are going to be like, whatever. That's just, you know, that's Commissioner Regal, or like he's a man Regal, or,
yeah,
you know, when they tried to make him a fucking lumberjack or a construction worker.
Yeah, because really, like, I remember this. I didn't really start to appreciate him. And now, granted, you know, this is, God, I had to be like 15 at this point, you know, so I definitely wasn't an expert in the actual professional aspect of pro wrestling. But it wasn't until like WWE 12 came out that, you know, I was just knocking around like characters and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, William Regal's in this game. And then I started to appreciate the actual person. But before then, it always felt like an afterthought in a weird way.
Yeah.
And then pretty much after the fact, too, in terms of on screen.
The power of the punch thing.
Yeah.
Was when I started really like being like, okay, I know you came from WCW. I know you had this really shitty blue blood style gimmick. I dig whenever they let people just kind of be a little bit more of themselves, because when they started letting Regal do that, that's when he became more like excelling in my book.
Right.
But Regal picks the win up against Eric Watts in 7 minutes and 31 seconds. It was pretty good singles match. It's just it's just a plain fucking one-on-one match, but I'll watch anything that Regal does. So.
Oh, yeah.
Now we get into the next match, which is, to me, it's really like the gimmick wrestler match, because you have fucking Johnny B. Bad, Mark Marrow, versus Max Payne, a.k.a. Man Mountain Rock from WWE. The guy that plays his own fucking guitar in the ring. We fucking harped on his ass at Halloween Havoc for playing the guitar during the fucking, you know, between match segments. This match came about because Max Payne fired off one of Johnny B. Bad's confetti guns into his face. And it led to Johnny B. Bad wearing this really weird diaper, pink looking mask on his fucking head to the ring. This was the shortest match on the card. Johnny B. Bad wins by botching a top rope crossbody block by slipping off the motherfucker and just having to hurry up and jump to the second rope by the time Max had turned around to take this move, and it was sloppily executed. Snooze.
Yeah, it was at this point whenever I was watching it last night, I was like, I might fall asleep. I don't know.
I did fall asleep, but not during this next match or two. So the next two matches actually make up the bulk of this pay-per-view as far as the runtime goes. So you got the Hollywood Blondes, which are Brian Pillman and Steve Austin defending the WCW tag titles against Arn Anderson and Paul Roma. This was a fucking great tag match.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to see. I will say it every time. Seeing stunning Steve Austin
with hair
and wrestling that style.
You mean stunning Steve Austin from Hollywood, California?
With a thick-ass Texas accent, yeah.
Get on out of here, boy. Ding.
Talking about, yeah, I want to go over there to the fucking, you want to go over to the fucking Sunset Strip?
He throws the old Aaron Hansen Game Grumps, like, but circa 1993, Steve Austin trying to sound Californian. Come on down to Burbank, son, where your dreams are crushed.
Bruh, he just walks around the fucking, like, the strip with all of the fucking movie star things on the concrete.
Look at that right there.
Spits a fucking wad of Copenhagen on that shit. It's like, the fuck?
No, I love Steve. I
love him too.
God damn. And you see fucking Pillman's like raspy voice out. No, you can't be doing that, Steve. Just like, and they're like, oh, you gotta be more Western, Steve. You can't be more like, you can't be like South. And he's like, oh goddamn, I thought this was a Western. He fucking pulls his little 6-shooter.
Yeah, he's like, well, hell, I came from Texas. What's more West than that?
Yeah, exactly. But the Hollywood Blondes, this was when they started really becoming, better. Like they were coming into their own as their own team.
Right. No, they were.
And again, Paul Roma and Arn Anderson, I will literally watch anything with these four gentlemen in this. Fun fact. I swear this has got to be a real thing. Like this has actually got to be a statistic. Steve Austin, in every fucking match he's been in, has taken a back body drop on concrete or the floor outside of the ring. He always goes for a pile driver on the outside of the ring and gets fucking reversed. He did it in this match. He did it against Dude Love in 1998. He did it against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38.
I'm genuinely trying to think of a match
that he didn't do this. That's the point. Whether it was pre or post neck injury, he did this. It was fucking insane.
Is that like a legitimate statistic that every single...
I think so, dude. Like I would have to dig, like legitimately dig through every goddamn match he's ever done. But every match that I've watched him wrestle, he's taken this bump.
Were there really no like Raw or SmackDown like squash matches?
I'm talking about like if he's doing that move, if he goes for that pile driver, he takes that bump. Every fucking time he takes that bump on the outside. It's the same one too. Look at his match with Brett at WrestleMania 13, dude. He took that move on the outside too.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. It's nuts to think about.
What about did he do it with Benoit on SmackDown? Like,
I'm pretty sure.
Fuck.
I know, right? But anyway, the Blondes win in 26 minutes and 14 seconds, and we move on to the Iron Man match for the vacant WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Dustin Rhodes and Ravishing Rick Rude, which this went to a 1-1 pinfall 30-minute time limit draw. So the belt's still vacant, but we got a good match out of it. And there's really nothing else to say. Like, Dustin and Rick are two of the best that ever have fucking done it.
You're saying this. I enjoyed the match, so I didn't even process it. But you're right, the fucking title is still vacant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the most... Hold up. This is the most useless dog shit.
I know!
The most useless, polished dog shit. Because it was good. But what the fuck? What the fuck is this? I'm so confused.
Yeah. Just wait till I tell you what happens with the next match.
All right.
Which is the NWA World Heavyweight Championship match between Ric Flair and Barry Windham, who is defending this championship against Ric Flair. Both men are baby faces going into this match.
Ric Flair looked old even then.
Yeah, he's kind of always looked old.
Fuck.
Barry Windham isn't too far behind either.
No, just...
And Barry's younger.
Really?
Barry is 62 years old right now.
No shit.
Yeah, he young compared to Rick.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like I've been saying for the last 8 years, dude, Rick gonna die this year.
Yeah. So this match kind of has this weird ending where a lot of people weren't sure if Barry blew his knee out, because he does disappear from the wrestling scene for a couple years after this. They weren't sure if he blew his knee out they called an audible, or they booked it this way to make him look like a sympathetic babyface that lost because he's in the figure 4 after having his knee kind of fucked up. And he's reaching for the ropes. And I know it's probably happened before, but this is the very first time I remember seeing somebody pinned with a 3 count from the figure 4 leg lock. And the bell didn't even immediately ring, even though the ref was calling for it. He was just like, bring the bell. And they were like, what? And he's like, Rick, you got to let go of the hold. He's been pinned. And then Barry was like, what the fuck? Like as soon as like it registered that he heard a 3 count, he was like, what the fuck? The confused look on his face, everything.
Yeah. And I could not tell if I loved or hated that finish because it's so sensible and it shocks you, but it's not a confused shock. Like you registered exactly what happened. And also it kind of plays into like, we've seen it a million times whenever somebody is in the figure 4 and they go down, ref starts counting and they sit back up.
Right. It's like shit.
Yeah. So it's like
you got to be in pain or get pinned. Either way, you're fucked.
Yeah. So it's really nice to see that outcome. But I don't know. I was just kind of like, it ended. Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't know if I loved it or hated it. I'm leaning more towards love.
Wait until you hear the aftermath of this bullshit. Fun fact for those of you out there that don't really know these bits or this deep of information. This was the last pay-per-view that WCW did with, where they were still holding some of the NWA shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last NWA championship match in the company on pay-per-view because Rick was going to be booked to lose to Rick Rude at the next pay-per-view at Fall Brawl. But NWA, as we know, has its own board of directors. So they, you can't, this is legitimate. There can be no title change without the board of directors having approval over it. So Eric Bischoff, who is just the newly appointed EVP of the company right now, they withdrew from the NWA right before the Fall Brawl pay-per-view happened. And they had to strip Ric Flair of the title. So this is like the umpteenth time that they're just like, just fucking strip Ric Flair of the belt. No wonder he's the 16-time fucking champion.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you actually go through history and everything, isn't he more along the lines of 21 or some shit like that?
I guess. And I think it counts as the big gold belt world championship. Because here's this fuckery. This is where it gets very convoluted. Did you know that WCW had an international world heavyweight championship for 1 year? And it was the big gold belt because Ric Flair owned the big gold belt.
I knew that he owned it, but what?
Oh, no. It gets better.
Okay.
It gets better. So NWA's board of directors no longer have a fucking champion. This is the infamous teaming with Eastern Championship Wrestling to hold a tournament to crown the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, where Shane Douglas wound up trashing it and becoming Extreme Championship Wrestling.
So because Flair owned the title, we got a whole new... What the fuck?
They had an entirely brand new heavyweight championship called the WCW International World Heavyweight Championship. And this was literally only because they already had a WCW title. And it's just like, we've got this belt. We have to do something with it. So that's what they did. And we got all that fuckery after the fact. And they wound up just making the big gold belt the actual World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should. But all that because Flair.
I expect no less.
Let's get into the main event of the evening where Sting and Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, are going to go 2-on-2 with the Masters of the Powerbomb, Big Van Vader and Sid Vicious. This is where the WCW mini movies kick in. So,
which was the best part.
Right. So in covering Halloween Havoc 1992 last year and also Super Brawl 3 this year, we kind of touched on them unknowingly because the intro to Halloween Havoc had that big, dungeon kind of thing where they were spinning the wheels like Jake Roberts and shit. And then with the strap match that Sting and Vader had where, Sting was like, oh, I'm going to climb this fucking snow mountain or whatever. It was like some snow cap bullshit. It was straight out of Rocky 4 or something. Then we move on to this fucking hunk of shit. The storyline, I wish I was making this shit up. Even Devin was like telling me, and I'm saying this to you guys out there listening, and Devin will fucking attest that this is real. He legitimately was questioning, is like, there's no fucking way this is real. This really happened. And unfortunately, this really happened.
Yeah, because like, just the way that it was even filmed, I was looking at it, I was like, no, this looks like one of those AI clips that I would see on social media.
Right, because it looks all jumpy and all this other shit.
Jumpy, the angles, because like the angles look like something that nobody that actually has filmed anything would do. It looked just like an AI project, even down to the color grading, which it was all natural lights, so I can't knock it, but at the same point, I mean, dude, it's just the way it all looked. It looked fake.
Yeah. But the storyline going into this, Harley Race and Colonel Robert Parker, who are Vader and Sid's managers, all four of these people, they are pissed off at Sting and Davey Boy Smith for not accepting their invitation to Vader's championship celebration rally because he's the WCW champion right now.
Mm.
They are literally pissed off at them because they went to go play a charity volleyball game with a bunch of kids and shit. This isn't story, mind you. So in the movie, these four motherfuckers roll in on a landing ship talking about we're going to crash their fucking beach party. And Vader comes out in his full ass wrestling attire with a jumpsuit and tennis shoes.
Well, not even just that, but whenever he got out of the fucking thing and the like...
the little platform come down?
Yeah, the little platform just went... Are we going to talk about this? Like, the fucking audio that they used for that? Just a little...
God.
Like, I was like, what the fuck? What?
Oh, the Foley guy got fired probably.
Oh my God, because I was like, okay, wait. I know these things are made of aluminum a lot of times, or fiberglass, or depending on what kind of boat you got, but bro, come on,
dude. Vader comes out in full ring gear with tennis shoes. Sid comes out with his knee pads, his trunks, his wrist tape, and flip-flops. Colonel Parker and Harley Race come out in full cowboy and like business attire.
Hey, bro, if they want to fuck up their ankles, that's on them.
We get the worst dialogue between them possible, too. Like, they're breathing really heavy. I mean, I understand. Like, Vader is fat and it's hot outside.
And he's got a mask.
Yeah, and, like, Sid Vicious is just roided up, probably. So he's just sweating just profusely, always. Then you got Davey Boy Smith and Sting out there playing a full-ass volleyball game, not breaking a sweat whatsoever. There's not a drop on them.
Oh, speaking of, by the way, you just reminded me to go backwards a little bit. We're going to talk about how Regal said that he won the match without breaking a sweat, but my man's is drenched.
Yeah,
like
dude.
My man's was sweating like he popped a molly or something.
God.
My boy looked like he just did some fucking addies, dude.
He would probably just be like, oh, it's just the moisture in the air. It's the South. You know, he'd probably just say some stupid shit.
It's disgusting out here. Even though so many homes in the UK to this day don't even have AC.
I know. Holy fuck. I don't know how they do it.
Well, what's the humidity in?
I mean, it rains, but it's still like shit.
Like, I don't know what the air quality is up there.
Yeah.
Or down there.
Yeah. But anyway, fucking. So this dialogue takes place with Sting walking up with his fucking Oakleys that look like modern pit vipers, and it's just funny as hell.
Yeah, especially because last week I rolled up wearing pit vipers.
Exactly. So they have this dialogue on the beach. They're just like, you're going to accept our invitation. Like they're basically like, you guys had better retire, or like, you know, you're going to face like the fucking consequences. And they're just like, Sting's like, oh, I think we should just take that, you know, we should take that deal. And David's like, what? Like Sting is like kind of, you know, bullshitting him, but he doesn't know it. And then together they're just like, nah, we'll see you at Beach Blast. And they get pissed off. It's like some fucking like G.I. Joe ending shit. But the fact that this starts off with a little guy in a shark suit swimming with a bomb in an igloo container, like one of those fucking like igloo like thermos fucking looking things or whatever.
Yeah. Bruh.
Their plan was to blow up Sting and Davey Boy's goddamn boat with them on it.
It was at this moment I was cross-eyed because I was staring at the TV and you at the same time. I felt like a lizard. And I was like, you're fucking lying. This is not a real movie. That you are lying to me. I mean, for God's sake, Sting talked like he was older in this movie than he does now in his 60s. No. To this very moment, I'm still like, I don't think this was real.
Oh, it happened. Not only did it happen, the explosion happened on that boat, which was so bad. And it was made to look like they got blown up, but Davey Boy went to go. He basically clotheslined Sting off of it into the fucking water.
Yeah, he
dude.
fucking speared his ass, man. Like, I don't know.
The fucking boat said. And the little fucking kids, like, that's what I cracked the fuck up at. There's like all these kids and shit on the beach with like, I don't know, maybe their older sisters or their moms or some bullshit. It was just funny though, because nobody screamed. Nobody was like, oh my God, not a fucking word.
Just fake cry.
Pretty much.
Just fake.
It's just the humidity rolling down their face. It's not even crying.
Yeah.
Something in that bitch's eye. But then they come out of the water holding their fists up in the air and the crowd cheers and it ends there. And then it's all like, WCW presents Beach Blast 93 live from Biloxi, Mississippi, only on pay-per-view. And you're just like, are you fucking serious?
So these mini movies, were these like VHS tapes? Were they?
Well, no, they aired on TV.
That's what I was asking. Okay, like,
because you got to think, like Turner Network, dude, they don't put anything on TV. God, could you imagine somebody going back and taking the scripts for these and expanding upon them?
what do you think the budget would be?
Legit?
Mm-hmm.
93 or 2023 standards?
2023.
Given the state of Hollywood right now?
No. Given the state of Super Media Bros.
Do you want this to be like legit serious or do you want it to be like...
No. I want to make some stupid. I want to expand upon this shit.
Like how stupid?
Very stupid.
150,000. It's
All right.
doable. It's respectable.
Okay. You have access to a Kickstarter?
Maybe.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So to the actual match that didn't last very long, like it was like 16 minutes and 44 seconds, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like it was good, you know? I mean, it was...
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, like it was one of the better matches on the card, in my opinion.
It was the best match on the card, in my opinion. And that's sad because like we had fucking Rhodes and Rude and Flair.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, the Rhodes and Rude match...
Those were long as fuck.
Yeah, like whenever you have an Iron Man match, it's gonna have a dragging point at some point or another, you know? That
Right.
So, whereas this was kind of felt... They trimmed the fat. You know,
right. It's almost like we got like the greatest hits of what these guys would do like in one-on-one matches, but
exactly.
We got the big moves, like we got the fantastic moves, like we got fucking Bulldog giving Vader a hanging vertical suplex,
dude,
with ease.
Davey Boy is just built different. I don't know
why
what
you
to
built
tell
like
you.
that though,
dude. His lat spread scares me.
Motherfucker looking like Christian Bale Batman with the goddamn wing spread. That bitch.
Dude, it's fucking terrifying.
Sting just being like
bulky.
Sting never had like a solid like definition for the longest time, but dude, him fucking just body slamming Vader like it wasn't shit because Vader was like 450 at this point.
And you don't think of Sting in that light.
No, you don't, but he's fucking Jesus Christ, dude. And then you got Sid Vicious's lanky ass walking around that motherfucker. Fucking ankle McBreaky everywhere. Jesus Christ, man. Mr. Compound Fracture himself.
He's so fucking big.
That's what I was trying to understand because he would get in that ring and I'm like, WCW, like they had smaller rings, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
But height-wise, the bottom of Sid's waist, like the top of his ass crack touches the top rope. And he's still bending over to get into the middle rope instead of just stepping over the top of it. Like, bro.
Did they have was that in like a contract that they had to save that for somebody that was over 7 foot?
I have no fucking idea, but yeah,
I have to assume it's something like that.
For this type of match, aside from that, but like for this type of match, you would think that there would be some like really big finish to it because like Scorpion Deathlock and the Stinger Splash, Sid's got the choke slam, Vader has the power bomb and the fucking Vader bomb and the Vader salt. Bulldog has the running power slam. I don't think they're called the masters of the power bomb, but I don't recall a power bomb. I mean, I think there was one, but I don't readily recall where the big spot was like, oh, he got power bombed, he's gonna win.
Yeah, no, it felt very okay.
Yeah, you guys are masters of something, all right. Vader at least hit that fucking moonsault, though.
Oh, and it's crisp as fuck. He did great.
Yeah, he hits that moonsault. Sting body slams Sid, sees that Bulldog's about to get pinned, and just comes running down the ramp and leaps over the top rope into the ring and just punches Vader right in the fucking schnoz. He just like...
That shit was sick.
It was pretty fucking funny. So the finish of the match is Bulldog recovers from this 450-pound man flying off the top rope onto him, enough to reverse an Irish whip and throw it up into a crucifixion pinfall, and wins the goddamn thing. And then they just leave the ring like they haul ass.
Yeah, I don't blame them for doing a roll-up of some sort of finish.
Kind of to make it like a fluke, I guess.
Yeah, but it did come off as kind of like, is it me or did it feel like they were like, oh shit, we're running out of time. Go, 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 go.
That is honestly kind of what it felt like, which is sad because it was a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's always weird to me is anytime you have like commercials or they want to stop blood or rushing a finish or even just like, oh no, we can't have language. I'm like, okay, but why? Who are you afraid of? It's your event.
Yeah, exactly. You already got their money.
Yeah, like, are you worried about sponsors? I mean, the fuck?
I don't know. Not the actual worst WCW pay-per-view.
No.
But it's not the best.
No.
I could think of a ton of Bash the Beach pay-per-views that were better than this. We haven't decided if we're going to cover Halloween Havoc 1993, but I feel it's kind of worth doing or looking into at least. The main event for that pay-per-view is Cactus Jack and Vader and the Spin the Wheel make the deal again. It's got to be better than Jake Roberts and Sting from last year.
Richie, just based off of the title alone, I'm like, oh, God, I have no interest in this. But you're right. It has to be better.
My man, we have to do Halloween Havoc 1993. Fucking Shockmaster's on the card.
Okay, all right. You sold me.
So that's WCW Beach Blast from 1993, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and just give you the rundown of what's going on. We're gonna take a break next week. Like, we're not gonna have a new episode come out because, God damn it, we deserve to just breathe. Because we get this holiday shit ready to roll out at you motherfuckers.
Sir. Yes, sir.
But when we come back on August 4th, we're going to be returning with our Cult Cinema Saturday series with Maximum Overdrive, and that's going to be a ton of fucking fun.
Yeah.
We've got some more wrestling coming up that month. We've got SummerSlam 2023 to maybe highlight. I don't know if we're doing a full-ass episode on it. We might just, like, talk about it briefly because there's a lot going on, you know, wrestling-wise that month regardless, with All In and All Out. We've got SummerSlam 1993. That's going to actually be our next Time Machine Series episode, which that's following up the WrestleMania that we just covered along with the King of the Ring that we just covered. And it's just fucking, it's regarded as one of the worst SummerSlams of all time. And, ironically, SummerSlam 1993 was in Detroit. SummerSlam 2023 is happening for the first time in Detroit since that fateful night 30 years ago.
Well, good luck.
Right. It's okay. We're going to have our friend Russ from Infectious Groove Podcast joining us for the SummerSlam 1993 review because he was actually there live.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
So we will have somebody's eyewitness account of how fucked up that pay-per-view was because he tells me all the time it was dog shit. Like, he makes no uncertain terms that it was fucking dog shit. So that's going to be a blast. But until all these episodes hit you, Visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes. Check out all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and the other social media handles we have in our show notes below. Next month is the final month to buy your Super Media Bros Brother Mania t-shirt, inspired by Running Wild, brother. Don't sue us. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this week. This has been AEW Blood and Guts and WCW Beach Blast 1993. Until we return, I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
Shades on.
We're off.